Hello, I'm Matt Schwartz with Schwartz Insurance Group, sitting here again with Shelley Kuussalo, who's a long-term member of our team and who happens to be out on long-term disability right now, dealing with some cancer treatments. But you've been willing to share your story because there may be some lessons to be learned. And what we're talking about is maybe what are the lessons that an employer might learn out of this type of circumstance. So tell me what was running through your mind with that idea.
Well, that it's just very important to have income protection when you go through procedures like I'm going through. You don't realize maybe all the expenses you're going to have until you're out of the workplace, and there are expenses that you typically think of, but then you have things like COBRA premiums and other expenses that you might not be thinking of that are going to be a little cut into your budget a little bit more than you realize. So I really appreciate that my employer offered long-term disability.
So I know we talked about that. I mean, when you have, you're going through the decision process, sometimes short-term disability, long-term disability, critical illness, cancer policies, they're really sort of an afterthought to medical, but they're not an afterthought when somebody's going through the situation that you've experienced.
Well, especially with long-term disability. I mean, I know a lot of the groups have it and thank goodness never have to have a claimant. But boy, just for my one situation, I'm sure makes it very worthwhile for what the group has paid into it for many years.
Well, I know we talked about, I mean, on average, depending on the incomes, but I mean, you're probably talking, $8 to $12 or $15 per person per month, which is, not a something that an employer cannot afford usually. But again, when it comes down to, hey, it's now replacing the income that you need, pretty important.
Right, and it's providing me with 60% of my income. So that is a really significant number because I have to live my lifestyle and pay my bills, and I wouldn't be able to live my normal circumstances without that income. So it really is very important.
So I know, Shelley, the normal things people think about, you've got mortgage and you've got food and you've got utilities and things like that. What were the other things that, and you mentioned a moment ago, I mean, there's some big expenses you just don't really think about.
Right. When I was employed, my employer was paying a significant amount of my health insurance premium. Well, now I pay the full amount because I'm on COBRA. And for me, that's about $500, and that's probably a very average, typical amount for COBRA right now. I also had, condominium fees. I also had deductibles and out-of-pockets and copays to meet. Those along with your mortgage and, like Matt said, utilities and other expenses. And then insurance. Bills come up quarterly maybe for your auto insurance or your home insurance. All of those things add up, and I wouldn't be able to live my lifestyle that I'm living without this disability income.
And I know, just to close out the conversation, you talked about at a point the cancer benefits that you have. A lot of times they're under a critical illness policy or sometimes specifically cancer, but they ended up being a significant addition to what you received. Again, all these unexpected expenses, and you happen to have these benefits that really saved you, probably.
That's correct. I actually have a cancer policy that is a voluntary product, and I pay about $29 a month for it. And in the last calendar year, they've paid me over $20,000 back. Just it's flat dollar amounts for procedures, and that has significantly helped. So anyone that is thinking of the critical illness or cancer, and the costs of them, boy, they really far outweigh not having them. 14 years ago, when I was struck by cancer the first time, I did not have any of those policies available to me. And when I came to work at Schwartz, they were available to me, and what a difference it's made.
So maybe the big takeaway is just allowing people to have, make an educated decision for themselves. Some people will choose not to spend that, but obviously others, just for the peace of mind, may do it, and God forbid it happens. It's been a big help.
Well, it's helped me a lot, and when you're not feeling well and you've got other things to deal with, it's very comforting to know that you're financially secure getting through it.
Well, Shelley, thanks for taking time to share with us, and let everybody else learn from your experience.
Thank you, Matt.